Hello everybody and welcome back to F1 TS Hub. We are here for qualifying. Second session of qualifying night for season 11, where we've got some drivers about to take to the track to just try and set their quickest time to determine the tier they will race in for season 11. Alongside me, I'd like to welcome JP, who's new to the commentary box for F1 TS Hub, but has plenty of experience nevertheless. Welcome JP.
Yeah, thank you Nick. Thanks for having me on board tonight. Before you mentioned my commentator career, I'm quite excited about this one and see how things play out.
Yeah, definitely. And we had a 7 PM qualifying session, the first session of qualifying night earlier, and saw some interesting times. JP, the quickest one was a 29.0, so that is perhaps the benchmark for tonight in this session to see who can get close or there or thereabouts. Of course, it is a 30-minute practice session, so we expect to see the drivers come out on the medium and the soft to start with and keep their supers until the end of the session, where the track's going to be at its quickest. Of course, they'll run hopefully the least amount of fuel, which will enable them to go and get the quickest time. We were just chatting about Bahrain. JP, seems quite a good choice for what is a bit of a kind of a pre-season practice in a way.
Yeah, I like it. And one thing I would say is a bit weird seeing it in the daylight. I've not done much of that before, but no, I really do like it. Yeah, it's one of in my own racing career, it's one of my most successful tracks. So yeah, and this should be the sort of track that I would say would be a pretty good. Well, it's sort of like the track that. I'm trying to spit the words out now. Sort of a track that, you know, would be suitable for most drivers, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, it's definitely a track got a mixture of heavy braking zone straights, fast corners, sweeping corners. So it'll be interesting to see how they all stack up against each other. Yeah, we've got 12 drivers in this session. We're missing a few a couple of them have asked to be transferred into the 9 PM session. So we'll try and squeeze them in if we have space in that one. A few drivers have already done their laps privately. If they were unable to attend, they let me know previously. So we've got those drivers, plus the ones that have already set their time, 19 of them in the 7 PM session. And then we've got a further 12 here who will look to get their time on the board. And JP, quite a few of these drivers were racing last season. Woma was racing for a couple races last season. Kingdom Martin is new. Cobbler's raced in both of our tiers last season. Malloy, race premium driver, he raced in the Pinnacle tier last season. Straw Blonde is new. Kev is of course racing our podium tier last season. Heskey Time hasn't raced, I believe. He didn't race in season 9 or 10, but he was there for season 8 previously. You've got Lemaine. He raced pretty much all of last season except for the last 5 races. JP, he was actually leading the championship in the podium tier, and due to personal circumstances he couldn't complete the last 5 races, so he wasn't able to be involved in that title battle. James Slater raced in our Pinnacle tier last season, and as did Sam. Alan is new in 12th position in the Mercedes. So car selection, JP, by the way, is just completely random. Whoever wants to select whichever car, they're more than welcome to. We got Herstow, who was due to race in this session, who has just joined us, and hopefully anyone who wasn't in the session to begin with is able to get in from their invite. So we'll keep an eye to see whether Herstow can get in. He raced with us season 8, I believe, or season 7 last time out.
Yeah, so I see the quickest lap so far is a 29.9. I think that some of the drivers will be slightly quicker now. We will knock a few tenths of that at least. But a decent time to set in the first stages of the qualifying session or the practice session.
Yeah, it definitely is. And as you mentioned, it is daylight here in Bahrain, which no, we're not used to seeing. It is a night race, of course, but drivers are taken to the track in these daylight conditions. And being an online practice session, of course, it's not the same as time trial. There is tyre wear and other factors. They won't be able to get slipstream though, JP, of course, because collisions and damage is off. So they'll just be able to keep to themselves, and really that's all it's about, is trying to get your best lap time. As we see Techno Thriller spin it coming out of the last corner in his Sauber. He was a title contender last season in the podium tier. But yeah, he has a little spin, and perhaps he's gonna continue on, and on those medium tyres at the moment.
Yeah, that's interesting because he was ghosting for long stages of that, so I think he might just come out of AI mode at the wrong time, by the looks of it.
Yeah, it can sometimes catch you out. It is one of those, as you see struggling again, is Techno Thriller. Bahrain is one of those tracks where in some corners it is difficult to get on the power. You really need to manage your throttle input, and of course if you're manual gearing, what gear you're revving to. But 11 drivers so far to set a lap time. The quickest is a 29.9, and that is on the soft tyre.
Yeah, interestingly, Kev 1990 is not decided to come out in the early stages of the session. He could rub a tyre saving, I suppose. Interesting tactic, but there you go. Whatever works for you.
Yeah, definitely. We saw in the last session actually, JP, some drivers were running quite a bit of fuel, which almost didn't make sense to us because, you know, the tyres do wear out quite quickly in an online practice session, so it's almost like the super softs. You don't really have, you know, more than 2 laps. You don't really want to do them before they'll start losing you time. So you just want to plan your fuel so you've just got enough to obviously do your out lap, your 2 flying laps if you choose to do 2, and then of course to come back into the pit safely so that you can continue on with the session. But yeah, 11 drivers still to set a time. Who have set a time?
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, so I was going to say, yeah, it's interesting you say about the 2 flying laps because I know a lot of people that will just fuel to do the 1 flying lap. So, which is a bit of a gamble because if you decide to do that and you muck up on your flying lap, that's going to cost you a heap of time. So, personally myself, I always go for 2 flying laps, but I know a lot of drivers in other leagues and who don't decide to just do the 1 lap.
Yeah, definitely. With corner cutting, of course, being on strict as well, you do have that risk of cutting a corner and kind of ruining your whole run if you only put enough fuel in for 1. So it'll be interesting to see, as we're seeing its Heskey time have a little slide exiting turn 4, I believe that is, heads through the sweeping corners now on those medium tyres.
Yeah, so Kev 1990 has decided to come out straight away. So interesting to see what he can do. But no one's yet been able to beat the time of Melboy with that 1:29.9. But as I say, it's still early stages of the session.
Yeah, it definitely is. We're just waiting for Hersto, who's joined the session. He's trying to figure out how to get into the car, so needs to go over to one of those computers and click take control, and then he'll be able to partake. Just over 20 minutes left of the session here, and we're expecting Kev, when he does set a line, JP, to be right at the top of the timesheets, and it'll be interesting to see how quick he can go. He has been practicing a lot for this and for the new season. After completing the podium tier last season, he'll look to perhaps move up to the next tier, or possibly even the prestige, who knows. So be interesting to see how drivers improve in the off season. Heskey time goes a little bit deep there into turn 1, and JP, you said you raced on this track. Turn 9, what do you make of it? It's one of the I always found one of the most trickiest corners on the whole calendar.
Yes, it's easy to get your braking wrong there. If you miss the braking zone, you can throw you really wide, and then it just ruins your exit. So yeah, it's very important in terms of lap time, to get that nailed on. It does take quite a bit of practice to do that, but if you can get that braking zone especially nailed on, then you can set a pretty sweet lap time for the rest of the lap.
You definitely can. We've got the top 3 on soft tyres at the moment, and a few drivers in the pits. Hersto has figured it out, and he's out on track in the Haas, so that's the car he's chosen to use for tonight's qualifying night. Make sure you give us a subscribe button if you're watching, and also don't forget to head over to Twitter. You can follow us there, and of course we're on Facebook and Instagram now too, at F1 TS Hub. website is www.f1tshub.com. And JP, under 20 minutes left of the session now. The track is only going to get grippier and grippier the more laps that these drivers do.
Yeah, definitely. Track evolution, obviously, in the session. What I sometimes try and find and do, it very rarely works. It's very much track dependent. But if you come towards a track like Bahrain and Mexico and USA, where you've got like an S section, I sometimes try and run lean through the lean fuel from the S section, and it doesn't always work, but sometimes you can get a quicker lap time just by doing that, and then switching the fuel mix back to max. So I don't know much about the driving styles of the guys here tonight, but that's certainly a tactic that has worked before for me anyway.
Yeah, definitely. It'll be interesting to see what these drivers do in terms of you know, some of them will sit in the garage for a bit and just kind of relax, whereas some will want to get out and the more obviously get comfortable with the tracks, get comfortable with the braking zone, the conditions, and kind of build up to what's going to be their quickest lap on the super soft tires. We did see in the last session, JP, that 2 drivers weren't actually able to improve on the super soft tires just due to messing up their lap or a mistake or a corner cut. And so the delta time will be taken into account if that happens between the 2 tires in the qualifying night final standings.
Yeah, so this is new to me. I've not seen this before, but I think maybe a tactic I do in this sort of situation is try and block it. Have like 3 10-minute sessions and just do, like, say 10 minutes on your medium just to get your eye in, and then put some softs, and they say do 2 soft tire stints and try and improve your lap time and try and find out where you can go quicker, and then hopefully if you get that all sorted out as Melbourne improves his time by a couple of temps, you can obviously have it nailed on for your super soft runs.
Yeah, definitely, and as you mentioned, you'll feel that grip difference each compound of tires that you move up. So for me, that always kind of helped with my confidence, just to feel that extra grip of when you change to a quicker compound.
Yeah, and obviously you have a lot of time to try and adjust some of your setup in the garage. See if you can make a few tweaks here and there, just to shave a few temps off here and there. It can make all the difference, especially when it comes to the actual race nights.
Alrighty, so 13 times now on the board. We can see that the quickest is a 29.7 from Malloy. James Slater's just behind. Both of those top 2 raced in the Pinnacle tier last season, so be interesting to see how they shape up. James Slater, I think, finished 5th or 6th or 5th position, I think, in the standings in the Pinnacle tier last season, to either move up a tier or stay in the Pinnacle tier for this season.
Yeah, so obviously, you want to be racing in the best league, and as Melbourne improves again, you want to be racing in the best league. Just to, I think it's just better competition wise. So if you win a race or you win a league, it just feels a little bit more special when you do that, when you're beating your peers. That's not to say it's nothing wrong in racing in the other 2 tiers. You should have some decent, good racing up and down the leagues. But yeah, you want to get into that top league if you can.
Yeah, you always want to test yourself against the best. You know, that's you know, you want to be competitive and you want to have drivers who are competitive at your level. But at the same time, you know, you don't want to be in a tier which is you know, your pace is above, because it simply the whole point of racing is competition, and if you don't have competition, then it's not so much fun. But yeah, these guys definitely out there. We can see it's pretty close between 5th and about 9th, 10th position at the moment, all covered by about 9/10 of a second between those guys. And then obviously you've got 2nd, 3rd and 4th and 5th, all covered as well by 0.3 of a second. So shaping up quite nicely as we head just under halfway through this session.
Yeah, so the main, I hope I pronounced that right, currently in 8th place in terms of times. As you can see, well, I don't know if you've got the same screen as I have, but you can see that on the tyres, she's actually selected on the Super Softs. Still in the pit lane, but she might be coming, well, he might be coming out anytime soon. Yeah,
definitely. Kingdom Martin, of course, is new to the league, one of the new drivers joining for this season. So it'd be interesting to see how he shapes up against some of the drivers that I know from previous seasons. Did you say, JP, that you've seen him race in a previous league?
Yes, I raced with Kim Gon. He's a very tough competitor, very methodical in his driving, and he's done well in the league that I race in. So yeah, he should be at some decent times tonight. So currently, in terms of time, in 7th place, 1.8 seconds off the top time. But yeah, I think when he gets his super softs on, he should be a little bit closer.
Yeah, definitely. The super softs should all kind of bunch the field up even more as we head down towards the 10-minute mark. And this is the second of 3 sessions tonight for qualifying night for season 11. And yeah, can't believe it, season 11 already. Where has time flown by? Our second season on this game, and lots of news on the whole esports front recently this week, with I believe the first event starting today. So good luck to anyone or any of our drivers who are partaking in that, of course. But we've got F1 TS Hub stuff to do, and it's good to be back on a Friday night. And Malloy still leading the way with a 29.6. That's 0.6 off our quickest time we've seen so far tonight. So I wonder if we will see anything quicker than the 29.0 that we had in the last session. You would think the super soft tires should give you around that much of an advantage in terms of Malloy. Maybe about 0.6. What do you reckon, JP?
So I tell you what, looking at 0.6 is a large chunk of time to take off. However, track evolution, as always, and super soft tyres, you should get around about that. I'll be interested to see if anyone could perhaps break that 29 second mark and get into a high 128s. Big ass, but it's possible. I just want to ask you, what was the time difference in when was the last time you guys raced?
So season 11 ended, I believe, around just before the middle of March. I think it was about the 10th of March. Was Abu Dhabi. Both championships actually were wrapped up. Drivers' championships were wrapped up in Brazil. Which are fantastic races. Bisas, who I don't know if you've heard of, but he's quite well known in the F1 community. He won the top tier championship last season, so he's in the next session competing, and he'll be setting his time. But yeah, we then did a sprint to sprint race on the 17th of March, so that's the last time we were actually racing. But yeah, we had the season 11 reveal, and here we are in April.
Yeah, the reason why I asked is obviously during the downtime of the season, when you're not racing in the leagues, you have to keep. I mean, you feel like, oh yeah, this is that season's over. I can just maybe chill out and play a couple other games and something. But you do need to keep you need to bang on F1 2017 every now and then, and just get your eye in, keep yourself. I suppose match fit is a term I'd use, and so when the season starts, you're ready to go again.
Yeah, definitely. I know some of these drivers have put in quite a bit of. We've seen some super softs now. JP come out, Kev's come out,
yeah,
and you'd expect. I believe they have 2 sets of super softs for this session, so they want to time it so that they can do use them both, obviously. They'll be wasted otherwise. So we're perhaps going to start seeing under the 10-minute mark drivers come out on their first set of supers, and obviously see how quick they can go.
Yeah, I believe LMC I hope I pronounced that right, is the first one up the road with the super soft tyres. However, I think she's mucked up her lap time there. So I think Kev will be the next one to look for. He seems to be on a quick lap at the minute and running rich fuel, and he's just coming up past sector 1 now. Well, just done sector 1. So he's going through the S section now, sector 2. So yeah, stay on board with him, I would suggest, for a bit and see what he can do.
Yeah, it looked a pretty clean first sector there as he overtook the Ferrari driver in the process. Keep an eye, this is this tricky turn 9 that he's coming into now. How will he find it on those super softs? He seems to have got it, car slowed down. Took a little bit of curve, which is good. Gets on the power, DRS is open. Of course, 2 DRS zones here at Bahrain. He'll head down now into turn 10, another set of sweeping corners, which JP are pretty easy on these new cars. Just flat out this one here. This is a nice little braking zone, and you want to carry as much speed through this corner as you can. Use all of the apex, which Kev did as he heads down now the second back straight. Wilma did get improved to a 29.8 on those supers, but as you said, it looked like he made a mistake. Gets a nice little bit of curve there, does Kev. This, I think, could be the quickest lap of the session as he opens the DRS and crosses a line. It is going to be 29 ahead of Malloy, who you have to say is going to want to improve on his time for sure.
Yeah, definitely. That's a good first lap, though. I mean, the drivers I've seen just going around there using a lot of curbs, which is great. There's a fine balance, though. If you use too much curb, you are going to lose time. So, yeah, it's interesting to get that balance just right.
Yeah, definitely do. We're seeing James Slater now on the super soft tyre, and it is about getting that balance. There are some chunky curbs here in Bahrain, and there are also some of them on the insides of the corners can be a bit bumpy. So you just want to. They're almost like a hill, some of the inside slower corner ones, JP, and you just want to kind of.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, touch the edge of it and not ride your car too high up the curb. But let's see what James Slater can do. He hardly touches the curb. It looks like a brilliant exit though, and we'll ride on board with him as he opens his DRS to cross the line, and it's going to be in the 29.5. He goes quickest, just ahead of Kev, so pretty close between those two.
Yeah, it's a great lap. It looks pretty clean from what I saw of it, but I think the times are just going to get quicker. 6 minutes left of the session, so it's not a huge amount of time for people to get the quickest laps in, but still a good time to get in and change onto a fresh set of super softs.
Yep, definitely is. So hello to everyone watching. We're heading in towards the last 6 minutes of this second session of qualifying night. We've got 13 drivers. Herstow currently in last place is on the mediums. He needs to come into the pits surely and get a set of super softs on, so that he can really move up the grid with some quick tyres. We've got Straw Blonde, who is also new to the league, and Alan in 11th and 12th place. They're only separated by a few tenths. There you go.
Miller goes to 29.0, so yeah, not very far from that 28 at all. So it could be done within 6 minutes to go. But he's very much quicker than he's half a second faster than James Slater.
Yeah, definitely. I'm gonna have to go over to the previous video of the 7 PM session, JP, and check what 29.0 was achieved, just so we can figure out if that is the quickest time so far tonight. Let's have a quick look.
Yeah, I'll stick with the action and see if I can catch an one on a mighty lap.
Oh, it's difficult to see. It's a bit blurry. It is definitely a 29.0, but I can't quite see the
purple doesn't make it easy, does it?
No, it really doesn't. Hold on, I think I'm going to be able to see in the race director screen. It's just about to switch over, and I will tell you. 29.067, so he's just beat it, hasn't he, Malloy?
Yeah, he'd be proud of that. That's a good achievement straight away. But I still think those late 28 is achievable.
Yeah, definitely Techno Thriller.
Yeah, just as soon as say he's improving time slightly, but still not quick enough.
Alan is just about on par with his previous lap on this set. He locks up the tyre there, takes a late apex, and looks like that Mercedes is a bit of a handful at the moment. He's currently in 10th place on a 31.4. So a few drivers now in the 29, the top 6 all are. We're hearing that Wuma made a slight mistake on his lap that's cost him 3 or 4 tenths, so we can expect him to improve when he goes out again. Under 5 minutes left, JP. And I got a feeling we're going to see some quick lap times towards the final few minutes of this session.
Yeah, it seems to be a large gap between Malloy and the rest of the field, I have to say. But I still think Malloy can, like I said, I keep going about it now, but I still think that his 128 is achievable. But the rest of the field just need to get as close as they can. And just do the best job they can do. Alan runs slightly wide there. That's going to mess up his time slightly, but should still improve. Well, he must have invalidated it, I think.
Yeah.
But anyway,
here comes Straw Blonde. Does he improve his time? No, he was down in the end. So he's obviously on Rich. He's got enough for another lap. And Hursto's still out on those medium tyres. Not sure what he's doing out there on those, as he almost spins it on the exit of turn 9. He needs to come in and get those supers on. Lemaine, he's, as I mentioned, he was a championship contender last season. He's just on his out lap, I believe, in Sector 3, so just about to start his flying lap, and he's got enough in for 2. So...
yeah, I've just stayed on board of Hursto for a few seconds. He's having a terrible time, I'm afraid. He must start coming that well. It's borderline how much time he's going to have to get on and change to supers with game animation and everything, but we'll see. But anyway, yeah, I'm just trying to Straw Blonde going past the second DRS zone. I'm just going to stay on board with him for a short while, see what he can do.
Here comes King Martin. He crosses the line. He doesn't improve that time around, so he's obviously going for another quick one on this set of supers. As we see 3rd to 7th now in the pits. Cobbler's in 8th, is on his out lap. Heskey time is in 2nd place. He just jumped up to 2nd, so quite close up there between 2nd and all the way down to 7th. Half a second covers those group of cars.
Yeah, so yeah, like I say, obviously track evolution is getting quicker. But yeah, I mean, it's anyone's game now. I think it's going to be interesting to see. It can just take a few tenths off a lap time, but they should be all able to do it, I think, without messing up the lap.
Yeah, definitely. We're seeing everyone except Techno Thriller and Straw Blonde out on track. So Straw Blonde, not sure what's happened. But I don't know. I don't think there's going to be enough time for them to come out and set a time. So his quickest time is going to be counted on softs. And of course the Delta will have to come into consideration. Techno Thriller's gone out. Will he have enough time to set a lap? Yes, he will. So that seemed to be a bit of a game error, not letting me know that when he came out. But Malloy is out, so perhaps he's going for a 28 GP as you predicted.
Yeah, King Don Martin is doing that. He's got plenty of fuel on board for another go. See what he does. He goes up to 9th, which I think he'd be disappointed with that, but he's got time to do another lap. Lemaine now is in Sector 2. I was wondering what he can do. I think this is probably his last lap that he can do. He's still 1.3 seconds. Oh yeah, he's lost time there, but he's 1.3 seconds off the time, so he's not going to be happy with that, I don't think.
Here we go. We've got Cobblers coming down the back straight now, and let's have a quick look to see what he can do for his lap time as he comes across. DRS is open, and what lap time is he going to be able to achieve? I think he must have got invalidated there because he didn't. Well, he did improve him slightly. Actually, he did improve him. So 30.2 for Cobblers.
28.9 for Malloy.
There you go.
I knew it'd be done. Yeah, only just, but he did it. Yeah, it's the clock's struck 0 now, so this is the last chance saloon for everyone who's on the lap.
It definitely is.
He's trying to find the next person to cross the line.
So Sam's coming up to the penultimate corner now. So perhaps he's going to be next in the Force India race with Force India in Season 10. Perhaps this is a sign of things to come. He wants the Force India again. First, let's find out as he exits the final corner, what lap time will he achieve in qualifying night for Season 11. He gets a nice exit, heads down, and it's going to be a 29.7. So that's what we've got for Sam. What can Kev do? Here he comes towards the last corner. He's been practicing a lot. Exits, gets a nice clean one. Runs a little bit over the curb just to try and straighten out his exit as much as he can. It's going to be 29.5. So James Slater, JP, he's next across the line. He improves.
Yeah, improves. Techno Thriller coming down the back straight.
Takes a lot of curb there when he was braking for his braking point. So that's going to be a good exit. What is this lap time going to be? It is going to be a 29.0. So very similar time to what we saw in the first session, but Malloy standing at the top there. Alan's out of fuel.
Close. Yeah, I just seen that. Yeah, it was a shame for him, but yeah, I thought that those late 28.9s were going to be achievable, and they were. Techno Thriller to get so close to Malloy, that's a good effort, because it looked like Malloy was miles in front everyone else to begin with in the early part of the session. But yeah, that's a great effort from him, and then just did some good times there from the rest of the field, but obviously he couldn't compete with Malloy, to be honest. Yeah,
Malloy, very good time from himself. And I'm just going through the race director, JP, just so we get a picture of drivers' times throughout all compounds. So when we need to compare any drivers who chose not to go on to the supers, we will be able to see the compound difference in terms of lap time between them and other drivers in the session. But there we have it. We'll wait for this timer to count down. And JP, that's your first little taste of F1 TS Hub on a Friday night, and look forward to having you in for the full race. And yeah, round 1 in Austria, just at the beginning of May. Austria, always a pretty exciting track.
Yeah, obviously this, like what I've witnessed tonight, like I said, it's a brand new format for me personally, but it was no less exciting to watch. And yeah, like I said, I'm very much looking forward to seeing the first race, commentating on the first race of the season. Very excited, and I'm sure as the viewers are.
So there we have it, pretty close there, the top 2, but Malloy just pips it with a 28.9. That is the quickest lap we have seen so far in our night. The 7 PM session's done, the 8 PM session's done. We've got the 9 PM session with another 20 drivers who are going to take to the track and try and set their quickest time to determine the tiers for Season 11. JP, thank you very much for joining me, and we will see you shortly at the 9 PM session, again live at F1 TS Hub.